What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. They also have an incredible energy drink, Omni, out. You can also use my discount code with that, as well as Weeble, where you know I'm a preferred influencer. Best promotion in the pinned comment. All you need to do, click the link, open account, make a qualifying deposit. They're going to give you free stock. They're going to give you up to 5% back on your uninvested money. It's a win-win situation. Guys got extra time over the holiday. Perfect time to take advantage of it. And kind of a holiday for my channel, if you think about it, because EA Sports decided it was time to update Madden. And I think this update shows everything wrong with this game and what EA has done intentionally to put themselves in a position to make it appear like they've fixed a game that they have not actually fixed. So we're going to start here with Sauce Gardner, and you can see he has the shutdown designation, where he can shut down defenders with the talent he has to erase receivers from the game. And when he enters the zone, his coverage is tighter, interceptions are more frequent. To me, this, as you can see, gives them a list of things that makes it look like they accomplished something. Gutsy Scrambler, inside Deadeye, mid-inside elite, short inside elite, tackle supreme. These aren't really things that impact the game. Okay, do they impact the player? Perhaps. But we all know, ultimately, what these come down to is animation dependency. And I feel like, and I've said from the beginning of X Factors, when they were initially just in Madden Ultimate Team, they're there to be a piece of promotion. They're not there to offer a piece of gameplay to you. They don't make the game better. They make it appear like the game is better to a casual fan or to someone not familiar with the Madden franchise series. Now, moving on to gameplay, because I've talked about this so much, I want you to understand the verbiage here. Refixed the issue causing the kick meter to move after a pause and sometimes cover up the kick meter. How do you refix something? You either fixed it or you didn't. But this is, again, the ultimate in EA. We're going to refix this. We fixed it, and it broke again, but we're going to refix it. And they have to, of course, offer an excuse that the reason this happened was due to an integration issue merging two previous title updates where the user interface package didn't reload appropriately, and the latest patch actually reintroduced the kicking issue back into the game. But as I've covered, this kicking issue has been around for years. It's been prominently discussed by the community, not just on YouTube, not just on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, but also on EA's very own forums. Moving forward, talking about what they fix in gameplay. A rare issue. I love how everything is always rare. That prevented the ball carrier from being ruled down correctly after falling from a trip/stumble, resulting from a low dive tackle from behind. Now, that's a lot to unpack, but you know what that says to me? Remember Sapient technology? How, we were going to get unique plays. Now, we understand how animation dependent this game is. When you have a rare issue that prevents the ball carrier from being ruled down, when he is falling in an animation after a trip or stumble that resulted in another animation triggering in the form of a low dive tackle, that is not unique gameplay. That is animation-based gameplay. To that point, when you have a player freezing while attempting an early lunge to tackle out of bounds, that is a branching issue. You don't have enough animations to branch from one to the next, given where the player is on the field, so all the game does is freeze the player. That's what games do. If there's no animation, the player is going to sit there. Tuning to increase interception catch chances. I thought all of this was going to be fixed with D-ball, play ball. Right? They sat there and sold us at the beginning of the year all these defensive mechanics. The whole secondary was going to be revamped with AI logic. And yet we know after the third patch, or really the second patch, interceptions were just drops. And the game played awful. And here they are, increasing it, but also taking out what they just quote-unquote fixed. When we talk about, again, things they add to the game, things they do that mean nothing when that's how broken the gameplay is, and it's evident. When you're sitting here working on signature walks, stances, gestures, facial animations for Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Micah Parsons. I mean, is this the Sauce Gardner Madden? I don't understand. It really does seem to revolve around him. When you're fixing the chest-bound celebration for Christian McCaffrey so he places the ball in his correct hand. I mean, those really seem to be fine details to be worried about. Maybe, let's just say, maybe we don't put in the chest-bound celebration for anyone until it actually comes into a gameplay situation that it matters where you accomplish something as the user. I mean, that's just what I would think. When we talk about franchise tag selection, when we talk about logic and AI for franchise mode, how teams build, what teams do, the fact that we're still dealing with this, the fact that they're telling you, listen, we're going to look into the franchise tag based on a variety of factors. Player development, overall player value, player's contract, compare that to other players in free agency at that position. Why is this not something that's been refined for years? Why is this something that has to be reworked now? The franchise tag has been in the NFL for decades. So the fact that EA is just now reworking this into a patch is just sad. I mean, these are things they shouldn't even really be bringing up if they're truly working on them. To go forward, they talk about contract earnings, the franchise news, text bugs, and these could not be further from the truth. If you're talking about franchise tagging, salary cap issues with the salary cap actually adjusting to the team's funds, and then the news feed is mixed up, you can't have two things more dramatically apart. But again, the whole news feed, the whole text bugs, they've been there for years. They've actually been there since Head Coach 09. This isn't anything new. But then again, Head Coach 09 didn't have franchise tag or salary cap issues because the game somehow managed to calculate things properly. These aren't calculations that have changed. And then, of course, we go on to the authenticity, which is what EA hangs its hat on, right? Multiple gloves now have issues with the Jordan and Adidas brands, but we fixed it. There's tons of players that had generic head and skin issues, but we fixed it. The Patriots warning label on the back of the helmet was the wrong color because a lot of times teams will match that color to their team color. Melvin Gordon's skull cap wasn't on properly. I can't imagine the micromanagement that must occur when Melvin Gordon's skull cap is even mentioned. You've admittedly got franchise tags that don't work. What if you wanted to franchise tag Melvin Gordon? I mean, I don't know why you would. Running backs are, not really the premium asset they used to be in the NFL. But if you wanted to, how would his skull cap placement factor into his desire to want to go on the franchise? I don't know. Maybe it's different now. Maybe now that his skull cap is fixed, he'll be more likely to accept your franchise tender. I don't know. And then, of course, Madden Ultimate Team. And I'm bringing this up at the end because none of you really care, and that's okay. But I do find it very, very convenient that we are continuing to see the same recycling of Madden Ultimate Team as we have seen in the actual game of Madden. Because here we are, Season 3, Michael Vick and the ever-present Pat Mahomes, but now with new No Chill on the way and whatever, I don't know, this leaf is. Someone will correct me, but more than likely not on this channel, because EA has built itself into this. They've built itself into selling you digital cards on a screen with higher ratings than the players possibly should have in hopes that you will sit there and play the game in 4-minute bursts, earn your little card and be happy. Watch the little segment play out and feel like you've accomplished something. Because you can't feel like you've accomplished something playing the game of Madden. Not just because there's so many things that are broken, but because the game itself is so bad. And that's why they focus so much on trying to make players be superhuman by giving them all these abilities. They focus on the smallest details, like what a player's facial and stance gestures look like. Because at the smallest level, that's all some people want to see. They want to see the player have the mannerisms of Josh Allen. They want to see the celebration of Christian McCaffrey. They don't really care or understand that, hey, this player doesn't have the agility, the movement, the skill set that Christian McCaffrey has, but at least he's got the touchdown run. This is the same core group that would simply say, well, as long as the player tosses the football to the ref at the end of the play, that must be like Barry Sanders, but we're not going to care anything else about how Barry Sanders traditionally would be replicated as a very special athlete in a football game. But Madden does not focus on that. Everything is numeric with Madden. I will also offer, a lot of people have approached me about the UFC game, and to be fair, it's much of the same from EA. They took years off to develop a game. They came back with a very much similar product to what they had. The things that they tried to fix or change look worse than ever before. Like the knockouts are just absolutely insane and not in a good way. Players just crumble like they're made of Play-Doh. They don't have any of these stiffening knockouts. If you ever watched, boxing or MMA, a stiffening knockout kind of happens where a person kind of just freezes up as they're knocked out. Instead, we just get a Jenga game made of Play-Doh where the bottom piece gets pulled, and that is what you have in this game. It is unbelievable to me how EA continues to fail on every level with nearly every product in trying to make a competent game, much less a simulation game. And that is why I know I can sit here and proudly tell you I will be able to be back in the lake with more commentary.